Hey, assalamu alaikum, guys. It's your boy Abdirahman here with another episode of Sobriety Sundays. Sobriety Sundays is a podcast aimed at destigmatizing addiction and building a platform for people that are in recovery in the East African and Muslim communities. This is the second episode after a long hiatus from Sobriety Sundays, but we're back and we're here to stay, inshallah. Today, I am here with a special guest and a great friend of mine. You want to tell people your name?
My name is Bella, and I'm a person in long-term recovery. Alhamdulillah. Thank you for having me here, boy.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your story here today with us. And I want to give you an extra thank you for being a Somali Muslim black woman in recovery. Often you guys' stories are shied away from, kind of in the shadows. And a lot of people don't talk about it, but there's a lot of sisters that are struggling with addiction and sisters that have made it through in recovery. And there is a greater stigma for you guys. And so sharing your story, of resilience is something that I just want to thank you for, and creating a space for that. And so thank you so much for telling your story. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Bella.
Hi, like I said, my name is Bella, and I'm a person in long-term recovery. Born in Somalia. About 3 hours later, I'm in Kenya in the slums, and grew up in Kenya for a little bit. I have a little bit of memories from Isli, Kenya. Came to America at the age of 7. Raised in Georgia, raised in Ohio, and moved here in my adult years.
Yeah. Okay, so you're a person in long-term recovery.
Yes.
What does that mean to you?
It means that I could be a beacon hope shot for my people and really be that support that the young ladies need and the young men in our community, but most importantly myself, and really redefining who I am and loving myself and watering myself every day for growth.
Yeah, so you struggled with addiction. How long did you struggle with addiction for?
For about 22 years.
Okay. And how long ago did you get sober? How long you been sober now?
3 years and 4 months, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, congrats. And so tell me a little bit about yourself. What was your childhood like?
Very traumatic, somewhat lonely.
Yeah.
I didn't really have a childhood. I would say a little bit when I came to America, like a little bit, like being able to participate in sport activities, being able to go to the park, where I'm from, like go to the park, go across the street, hang out with the other young kids, be able to go to Duxie for a little bit and actually enjoy myself. So it was like really hard but good.
Okay. And so at what point in time in your life did you end up struggling with addiction? What led to that point?
The age of 14, I really wanted to escape my reality. I wanted to escape reality, boy.
And so what was that like? What was your first time using? Like, what substance did you use? How was that? Like, let's paint a picture.
It was opiates. Opiates. And I would say like it was really trippy.
Yeah.
It was really trippy. I would say it was fun. I'm gonna be honest. It was fun at that time. What I thought would be fun. Growing up listening to music, everybody was talking about, popping pills and smoking weed. So it was cool to me at that moment. And until it ran out and pharmaceutical medication can't really find it like that. So we had to literally chase the guy who had it the whole time, and finding it was somewhat easy at first because I found it while my friend's family wasn't looking. I found it.
Yeah.
I took it upon myself to pop my first pill.
And what did that lead to? How was that experience like, and how old were you at that time?
I was 14. It was something I had to hide, and no one really noticed it. It was something I had to hide. The withdrawals were bad though. The withdrawals was bad. Starting off with Trimidols to Percocet. It's like it was the worst withdrawal ever, and really, at the age of 18, like I found myself doing other stuff.
Yeah.
More and more.
Yeah. So what was the lowest point in your addiction?
The lowest point in my addiction was being in an apartment, an apartment that that the lease was cut short and sneaking into that apartment and stealing from my family, stealing from my sister, stealing from my father, and being in somewhere I didn't belong, being kicked out of my hometown too. That kind of hurt a lot. Kind of hurt a lot. Either going to jail or leave Ohio. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that was the lowest.
So, for yourself, being a Muslim and Somali woman, how was that addiction experience like? How did people react to it? How did people act when they told you when they found out?
This was like when it was like nobody knew about it. Nobody knew about it. Abdirahman. Like nobody knew what it was like. Nobody knew I was even in my addiction. Like they were like looking at me like something's wrong with you.
Yeah.
Why are you doing this? You're not supposed to do this. My little sister, my daughter.
Yeah.
Why are you doing this, cousin? Like why are you doing this? That's all I heard. Like I never got a guidance. It was very hard because when my brother did it and my other brother did it, it was okay.
Yeah.
My other family members did it. It was okay. So I was like, man, there's some hypocrites. I'm gonna keep going.
Yep.
It was very hard because I wasn't fortunate. Nobody ever told me like, here's the way out. It was very hard. I felt alone. I felt sad. I felt hopeless. It was very, very sad. It wasn't really a problem until I started doing the heavier drugs. As I got into my adult years, that people started shaming me,
Yeah.
pointing fingers, like, you're not supposed to do this. You're not supposed to do this. Like, and it'd be the same people that give you the drugs.
Yeah.
It'd be the same people that give you the drugs. When you get full blunt into it,
Yeah.
they be looking like, oh man, I created a monster. Like I don't know. I didn't never looked at myself like that. Yeah.
So during this time period that you were struggling with addiction, were you seeing a lot of other women like you that were struggling as well?
Yeah, actually, the most saddest thing ever right now is like, a lot of the women that I was doing, the heavier drugs with, they overdosed and died. I made it out, alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
But getting phone calls and, like, I really didn't know that, your friends could be a gateway of you using sometimes,
Yeah.
'Cause, my first drug was tramadol. I did it by myself. Then when when I get off work and I seen the sisters doing cocaine and I started doing it. So my other drugs and shit. But to answer your question, it's like there's not a lot of support for the sisters. I feel like we're still stuck in the shame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for these sisters that are ended up, struggling, why do you think the support isn't there?
Not a lot of sisters are talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of sisters are speaking out about it. I feel like the lack of resources too in our community. I'm gonna speak for Ohio, Minnesota. A lot of the resources are not there, and individuals are scared to get it because they don't want a finger being pointed at them, like, like what had happened. Why are you doing this? Instead of saying, I know a place where you can get some resources, go to this treatment, and some people want to hide it in shame. Like the sisters don't know who to trust because it's a lack of trust. Because in the household, from my story, I know I could relate to a lot of sisters. From my story, being traumatized by male family members, or maybe it could be like somebody that's watching over us that your family did not even think did that to you.
Yeah.
That's my story, right? Traumatic experience of my younger adult times as a woman, or maybe it could be like something where the family member was abusive. These are the stories and the feedbacks I'm getting from the young ones, including myself. Like, something happened, and in their own household, they didn't feel protected.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I know I didn't feel protected.
Yeah.
Like the most rewarding thing I've ever seen was, my predator, right? Like the person who
Traumatized
made
you.
Ilahi, help him, and seeing him at the masjid and just like looking at him in the eye and telling him like, you know, you're not gonna be the reason why I use no more.
Yeah.
You know, like
You overcame it.
It was like the most powerful thing ever.
Alhamdulillah. You said help him and not punish him.
Ha.
I want to explain that.
I feel like, you know, with him too, it was a mental illness.
Yeah.
You know, with me, it was mental illness. And I knew he was a sick man
Yeah.
at that moment. Like, who would do that to an innocent child, right?
Yeah.
You know, well, all of them, to be honest. You know, like, it was like 3 different people with me in my story, but with him, he's in the masjid, you know, Bismillah. And I, like, when I moved to Minnesota, there's somebody who had touched me inappropriately in Ohio.
Yeah.
And him being in Minnesota in the mosque,
So confusing.
it's so confusing. And
Like, where the
prior
hell
to
you come
that,
from?
I
Yeah.
see him at the parks drinking.
Yeah.
So it's like, the man has not been there. He's an addict just like me.
Yeah.
He has mental health issues just like me.
Yeah.
Who am I? I'm not Ilahi. You know, I'm not Ilahi. I'm not God.
How long did it take you to get to that point where you're able not only to, you know, overcome what happened, but even forgive him?
The last time I was in treatment, I did a lot of therapy. I did a lot of therapy on myself, a lot of mental health work. Man, I cried it out. I haven't cried since, but last week I cried, but like, it's just having self-acceptance.
Yeah.
Having self-acceptance that, you know, that's between him and Elijah, and I have to be able, the hurt is always going to be there, the reminder is always going to be there, but I can't I can't dwell on it, you know, because I have a bigger fish to fry.
Yeah.
You know, like I have my community that needs me, you know, I have myself
That
I need
needs you.
myself, yeah, because I never had myself. I was getting high for 22 years, man, so it's like,
You didn't feel protected.
I didn't feel protected.
Is that a common thing for, you know, women in general, Somali women, East African Muslim women,
100%.
who feel protected in their own homes?
Yeah, in our own homes. Like, what kalna, bro? You know,
Yeah.
start off with like, ain't nobody gonna marry you. You can learn how to clean up. Those kind of things you gotta be mindful, right? Like, you could continue to be where you are. Ain't nobody gonna marry you. You need to clean up. Instead of saying, "Oh, we're a family," you know, let's do. That's what we need to get better at. Let's
Yeah,
have
that's
chores
messed up.
together.
Yeah.
Don't marry off our daughters. Don't ship our kids back home. I feel like they were trying to get me on that too, but like
Send you back.
yeah, I wasn't going.
Yeah.
But a lot of my friends, like their uncle, their mother, would like verbally and mentally abuse them.
Yeah.
Physically. A lot of sisters. I'm sending you off to masjid, you know? Masjid, the ma'alna at the masjid is beating up on the young lady, you know? She go home, her brother's jumping on her, you know?
Yeah.
Her sisters. That's abuse, bro. That do something to you, you know?
Yeah.
To
Mentally.
do something to you.
Man, may Allah help our sisters, you know what I mean? And what you're doing and you're talking about your story, this is the type of powerful, you know, storytelling that is needed in order to not only break the stigma, but allow people to know that this is real, you know what I mean? That your pain is real, and that there's so many sisters that feel that same or similar pain, you know, because it's true and it's real, you know, like a guy like me who, you know, talks about my recovery journey, and I, you know, will show a video of myself overdosing, I will get way more grace than another sister that does the same thing, you know what I mean? And that's something that I truly believe, and I've seen with my own eyes too, you know what I mean? And I've seen how sisters, when they share their stories, how people react to them, even if a sister doesn't share her story, you know, and is just struggling, she does not receive the same type of grace, you know what I mean? And it's, you know, for the men that are watching this video, we got to do a better job of protecting our sisters, because our sisters should not feel like that. They should not feel like they cannot come to us. You know what I mean? And I know there's a lot of these type of conversations in these red pill movements where they, you know, are demonizing, criminalizing our sisters, but our sisters need to feel protected. You know what I mean? Why are so many sisters, you know, struggling and not coming to us for help? Because we never gave them the space to be able to feel like they're able to come to us for help. And so, you know, for the brothers, we got to do a better job at that. But wallahi, I do commend you for telling that part of your story, because I know that's not easy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know it's not. And so for yourself, you were escaping and you didn't feel protected. And so at what point did you feel like you were able to make that change?
Well, I like thinking about it when I was in jail. The tables were turned. You heard me, bro? The tables were turned when you get that letter. It's no longer the young girl who's escaping rape or abuse or cultural. Culture is something like you can finally have acceptance in, but like rape, being touched, it messed with me to a point where I didn't even know I had PTSD.
Yeah.
I didn't know I had anxiety, bro. I didn't know I was running. I'm like, I'm always running, and I'm used to moving so more. So jail was normal to me since 2017 to 2022. That was normal. That was my norm. Until you get that letter. You get that letter, bro. In the jail cell, I got that letter. It was my clean date. I woke up on June 1st, and I get that letter.
What's the letter
And the
say?
letter say that it was a 4th degree, and a 3rd degree assault.
Okay. You got the affidavit.
Ha.
You got where they charging you for the crime.
Ha.
Yep.
I'm like, so I, Hennepin County, the deputy is kind of cool and shit. So I asked, I was like, can you tell me what's wrong? 'Cause I'm coming in from,
You got into a
El
fight.
Cano Kujiro.
Yep,
Like
yep.
I'm coming in. No, I hid 2 weeks. I
Okay.
hid. That was my story.
Okay.
So I got into it at the park. Let me just take it back a little bit. If you like,
Yep,
would
for
you
sure.
like me to take it back?
Yeah, give them some perspective.
So last time I committed a crime, someone had came to the park. We were all drinking. So I was looking out for people. I had went home, and when I got back home, I'm thinking I'm coming into some leftovers because I'm a person that have an addiction problem, right? So I'm thinking I'm coming back to some leftovers. I threw some people some money.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, like I'm gonna get to enjoy my drug in peace. I'm gonna get to drunk with these people. I done bought bottles and
Yep,
beer
yep.
cans. I'm thinking, I get to enjoy myself. Then I come, and my significant other, there was a young lady there. I was already jealous. I was already jealous. So I came, and the young lady was like drinking it.
Yeah.
She was drinking, and then me, I'm just drinking slow because I have money. I'm okay, right? I'm just drinking slow, and then she sits on his lap, and then, he was an instigator. He was an instigator, and then I didn't care. I was like, whatever, bro.
Yeah.
I'm good in my
Yeah.
pockets. The addict thinking, right? And next thing you know, she got in my face and say, hey, get out of my face.
She knew that was your man.
Yeah, but I'm
Okay.
like, get out of my face.
Yeah.
I don't care what y'all got going on. Just get out of my face. And she's like, you ain't gonna do nothing, da-da-da, So I felt like people was in her ear to bully me.
Yep.
I don't take bullying lightly.
Yep.
So I told her, I'm gonna protect myself. Like I just got out like 2 weeks prior,
Yep.
The young lady ended up stabbing me and I ended up harming her.
Yep.
So moving forward, I ended up being in that jail cell and I get the letter that I harmed this young lady. And that does something to you,
Yeah.
even though, things happen, I was able to resolve that conflict, with Hennepin County. It's just, you don't forget paralyzing somebody, like,
Yeah.
you don't forget, that's the honesty in your recovery.
Yeah.
I was wrong.
Yeah.
That messed with me.
Yeah.
I don't have to protect myself no more, I told myself. This is the time to stop
Yeah.
hurting people, bro.
Yeah.
It's like I don't want to hurt nobody. I don't want to do this no more. Like I want to help people.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, how can I help somebody, bro, in jail?
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna make dua. I started praying salah, making dua, just crying.
Yeah. Because you didn't even know she was hurt like that.
Yeah,
You just left the scene, so you didn't even know what was the outcome of the fight.
ha,
And then you come to find out that she was ended up getting paralyzed.
that she was in jail in a coma.
SubhanAllah. Yeah.
That does something to you.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? Bismillah, made dua. And when you get into sobriety, your first stages, you like everything's heightened. Oh, I remember what I did to my sister. I remember what I did to her friends. I remember the qiyasha that I stole their stuff, and everything I did in the car I stole, everything comes back to you. Every
Mistake.
every setup I did. I remember my own friend. I done did a lick. You know, like everything came back to me, like, and I thought I was like, I felt burnable for once. I felt like I was feeling for once. It was just all hiding, and I want to change. And I prayed for these people that are harmed. You know, there's something you don't do. You know, in your addiction, you don't pray.
Yeah.
You know, and I prayed. You know, I made thought. I don't know if it was accepted by Allah. You know, because I was like in my early stages of recovery, but I made thought. And I'm like, that's when I started to believe.
What did you pray for?
I prayed for them to heal all the traumatic experience I put them through. Especially, I prayed for that girl to get up from that hospital bed. So at that moment, I knew I didn't want to run away no more. Like that's not gonna define me.
Yeah.
I want to stay clean. I want to be into my sobriety, and I want to do something with myself, even if I were to be deported, because that's some serious charges.
Yeah.
You know, they had said, this is what really got me, was they said that I was like meters away from her artery
Oh, snap.
on her face.
Yeah, so she could have died.
She could have died because of me, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is not who I'm meant to be. You know, we're very fortunate people, you know, when we could just wake up for that. And I knew at that moment that I'm going to start my healing process. I was so grateful because I was gone for 2 years. Prior to that, I was able to get 9 months. But at that moment, I knew that that scared little girl, needs to start healing. And I need some mental health work. It's bigger than addiction.
How long ago was that?
That was about 3 years ago.
So this is when your sobriety journey started.
Yup, 3 years ago.
So what happened when you got out of jail?
Oh, I lived in St. Paul, and I was in treatment for like about, I lived in St. Paul. I know it's unhealthy to say, but with that abusive guy.
Yeah.
But
So
I moved in with him to get away from Minneapolis.
Yeah,
you
so
know,
you went from one struggle to another.
I moved to a all-women facility for 34 days in Meridian, and I just was enjoying myself, bro. I was eating up the food. I was enjoying myself. They had like printed out stuff for me, readings and stuff. So I would read when I'm in there. I would just color and do arts and craft, and I would go to all my groups. Make sure I see my therapist in there. And when I got out, I said, "Hey, I need some more help." Like, you know. So I went to therapy at a different facility of theirs, and I was in treatment first because, you know, it was court ordered. So like I came out with 7 felonies.
Oh, snap.
I came out with 7 felonies, and then I went to outpatient after that. And with the outpatient, they were able to drop like, you know, 2 serious ones, because of what happened.
Yeah.
And as I went along, at 6 months, I knew that guy was unhealthy for me.
Yeah.
You know, I found a bag of dope, drugs, I should say.
Yeah.
And in a flashlight, you know, I'm trying to get fresh for treatment, and I see.
Yeah. You see what he has going on.
Yeah, I'm trying to look for the flashlight. The flashlight got meth in it. That was my drug of choice at the time. Like, I'm on probation. I'm on a furlough.
Yeah.
But do better.
Yeah.
And I decided to move into my own apartment. I always had my own apartment.
So you made that choice when you were faced with that decision. You seen the bag of the meth, right? And then you seen it, and you seen the guy you staying. So you made that choice at that moment to leave instead of taking it.
Yup, I left and I never looked back.
How hard was that decision to make? Because I feel like a lot of people, I know myself even like, and I failed a couple of those choices really early into my recovery, and even when I was trying, because I tried to get clean for like 6 months before I got sober. And you're faced with those decisions all the time. It's like God is testing you. It's like, oh, you really want to get sober? All right, bet. Watch this. So make that decision now. You know what I mean? And you got your drug of choice in front of you, or somebody hitting you up saying, yo, I got something for you, you know? Or you just find it. Like I had a friend of mine who told me that he found one of his drug of choice was fentanyl, and he found a fentanyl pill in his house like 4 or 5 months after he got sober. You know, and he just was tested with that moment. But thankfully he called me. You know what I mean? And we pulled up, we got rid of it together. And so that type of stuff happens all the time. So how hard was that decision for you to make?
It wasn't really that hard. I'm
Okay.
gonna be real.
Yeah.
At first, it was kind of nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you're gonna go back to jail if you stay in this, right?
Yeah.
But to be honest, it was like either stay on a furlough forever or beat these charges and be a productive member to society, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not gonna be Hennepin County. That was the goal, right?
Yeah.
Get off of probation at that
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
And I feel like, man, my whole life back in the cycle.
Yeah.
You know, experiencing having to taste the recovery 30 days, 6
Yeah.
days,
Yeah.
9 months, you know, 6 months, whatever the case is. And going back in to actually having 7 felonies,
Yeah.
that's something not to play with.
Yeah, definitely.
When the prosecutors are saying you're this person and you're used to doing this person, I have to make a decision like this person is not going to leave the lifestyle. They're older than me. I'm a Muslim young lady. We have nothing in common. Like I'm a queen. I can get this.
Yeah.
Like I have something. Like I'm you know, being in recovery before, being the only Somali young lady in and out the pathway groups.
Yeah.
You know, people always tell me to stay for your people, stay for your people.
Yeah.
And coming out that jail, being like, I want to be somebody, I couldn't afford to stay in that relationship because it's gonna set me back. So it's like I feel like it was a setup.
Yeah.
Like he wanted me
To be
stuck,
stuck.
abused all over again.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I knew that if a person truly loved me, they wouldn't do that.
Yeah. And bring that type of stuff around you.
Yeah.
And so then you ended up leaving him. And then where'd you go then?
I went back to my little, you know, room at higher ground and thugged it out, cleaned it up, made it, you know, I had to throw a lot of paraphernalia away and stuff, but made a home for a little bit.
Okay.
And then, like, come to find out, people were looking for me, like, why? My case manager at that moment for my housing was looking for me, and I'm like, I ain't want to be here. It's crack infested. But it was better because I had my room locked more.
Yeah.
Yeah, so alhamdulillah, it was like I started advocating for myself at that moment.
Yeah.
That's how it was, bro.
You found your will.
Like slowly believing in myself. So I'm like, yeah, man, you know, I was with that guy. And she's like, why have you been answering my calls? I don't want to come back to this, like, you know, a crack infested a building.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, I found a nice landlord for you. And, you know, me and her still cool too. Like, she supports me through my journey. She's like, I found a nice apartment building for you. And he accept felons.
Alhamdulillah.
So something good came out of that. So, yeah.
From reconnecting with her. So how was that first year of sobriety like?
Bro, it was chill. I bench watch Netflix. I stay out the way.
Yeah.
I lived in Southside, so it's like I would go to my meetings, come back home, go to a group for treatment. I was in treatment for like until I had like 14 months. Then I landed my first job.
Okay.
Alhamdulillah. I did a lot of therapy at that treatment. Like I did cognitive therapy. I did behavioral therapy. I did exposure therapy. Did a lot of therapy.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah, I started loving.
Would you say that therapy had a change on how your outlook on life and like in your recovery journey?
Yeah, it was mad scary, especially exposure therapy. And like face-on therapy was trippy. Like reliving my traumatic experiences and knowing that it's always gonna be there. It helped me tremendously. It's like, you know, it's always gonna come back and show up.
Yeah.
But it's nothing to not, you know, fear. Like you don't have to fear it. Like, I can actually live my life.
Yeah. What would you say to the younger Bella that was struggling with addiction? If you were to see her right now.
I would say, give yourself a break. Like, I love you. Like, you're gonna love yourself one day. You're gonna be free one day, and you're gonna be safe one day. Like, you're gonna be really, really safe, and you're gonna help people.
Yeah.
And I would tell her, stay in Minnesota. When they ship you over there.
Nah, but you did it though. You're doing it now.
Yeah.
That's amazing. You know what I mean? And I know this is not just the end of your story. You know, so much more, you know what I mean, about, you know, the work that you're doing and the people that you're inspiring. And you're doing a lot of great work with New Minnesota Purpose of Freedom. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, New Minnesota Purpose of Freedom was founded in September 2024. And it was founded off a safe haven for people, you know, who's going through traumatic experiences, family neglection, to be honest, a support system. Slogan is recovery support starts here, because I feel like, every day in between work, I go and talk to people in the community, and no one talks to them.
Yeah.
Like we go out and do like outreach here and there, but nobody talks to them.
Yeah.
So it really came off of pain too. I'm gonna keep it real. Came off of pain of, like, why we not going out there to go feed our people?
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
I felt like I was being used by a lot of people. Like, I'm so grateful for you. You were like somebody we watch every night when we came from the meetings to go home. Like we'd be up watching your TV. Yeah, on our TV, we'd be sharing it, and it'd be like that one video of you trying to do the drop-in center.
Yeah.
Like you had a lot to do with me starting that organization. It's like not being full of fear.
Yeah.
It started off. I seen a lot of people using our people, bro.
Yeah.
And you actually been there for a lot of brothers, had helped a lot of brothers succeed, and I wanted to help a lot of sisters succeed. I didn't want to expose them, bro. Like, I feel like, until they're ready to get in front of the camera, they ain't ready to get in front of the camera. And I had an indifference moment with another person, and I felt like, it was their way, and we were not being heard. So I already had it in me. People were, with me through my process. Even at 7 months, people were like, "Hey man, how do you do it?" As soon as they see a Somali young girl in the pathway, go be like, "Yo, how you doing it?"
Yeah.
So it's basically started off of pain because I was told, it was an incident, and I was told that, that I'm providing services to people, so they have to do what I say. No, these are vulnerable adults, and we don't go around abusing them. So I was like, man, I'm gonna be an advocate. Like, I'm gonna be an advocate, and I want to start my own organization. I want to help people who are felons, who don't believe in themselves, to go get a job. And I watch a lot of your videos too. You saying some real stuff. Like, I'm not trying to idolize you, bro, but you got to get off your, most of your videos, you talk about how you got to go get up, do something with your life. So just like me being a felon and being able to start my first job, even though I had to leave it and go into another job and go into another job, I was able to get a job. And just like, I feel like we lose hope when we don't have the background for the resume, or we have the bad background. Well, I mean, the background that we no longer are that person. Basically, we're not our felonies,
Yeah.
So New Minnesota Purpose of Freedom, keyword freedom, is freedom from addiction.
Yeah.
And the purpose is getting back to your life, bro. You have a purpose, you have a life.
Yeah, you do.
And, I feel like a lot of the organization knew, it's like, man, it's like this is new generation of hope. Like the same thing, but like your sister's here to help you too. You feel me?
100%.
Like, it's nothing but you having support. So I was like, man, I support you. You don't have to get in front of a camera. Just go to a meeting, or, like, how can I support you? Do you want to go to your family house? Like, I done drove girls from Chicago in 17.
Yeah.
I done pick girls up, man. They're like shocked as hell, Abdirahman, by myself.
Yeah.
No funding, man.
Yeah.
Dropping them off at their mom's house. Can I get a hug? Why you give me a hug?
Yeah, but a lot of people need that love.
Yeah,
People be so surprised when they get that type of experience and that type of love and affection, because it's like, when you're struggling with addiction, a lot of times people don't treat you like you're human. You know what I mean? And so that simple thing of giving somebody a love, or just a ride, or even just a plate of food, sometimes people don't really see that or feel that, especially when you're just coming as yourself. Because they're like, they see an organization, they know they're getting money from the government to do it, but when you're going out your own pocket and doing it, a lot of times people are like, oh snap, like, and then when you, even in the early stages of an organization, like, it's like a lot of times people don't know how much work you got to do by yourself. And so I commend you for doing all of that, because that's what it is, picking up the bootstraps, like, with or without funding, with or without support, we're going to do this work. And that's exactly what you're doing, So
I feel like 100%. But I feel like, I wanted my good deeds too.
Yeah.
I want to eat my cake too.
100%.
Like, I wanna be proud, and I know Elijah knows my intentions.
Yeah.
Like, man, I ain't gonna do nothing but buy kicks.
Yeah.
Go out to the movies, stuff that's not fulfilling.
Yeah.
With that money, like today, I know that if I can, it actually taught me how to save too.
Yeah.
build my credit too, right?
Yeah.
If I could just not be obsessed with something and do something that's good, that's healthy, like sadaqah, right? Everybody is good deeds. Like, another Muslim's good deed could be like going to the mosque and putting money in the mosque, right?
Yeah.
But putting money to where I stayed at, like putting money into the, in front of the branch.
That's sadaqah too. That's
I'm gonna
sadaqah
do
too.
that.
A lot of people don't, they don't contemplate that. It's good to support, overseas efforts, whether that's, people in different places, you know what I mean, that's struggling with famine or drought, or, putting money into the masjid. But this is sadaqah too. Our brothers and sisters are struggling, you know what I mean? Some of them homeless, some of them struggling with addiction, some of them, struggling with mental health. And a lot of them are in need of assistance and help. You look at any other community, there's a lot of support there. And so, our communities, we have to be able to attribute and donate to these type of organizations like New Minnesota Purpose of Freedom in order to be able to support the efforts that are being done. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of things that there's a lot of need for help and services, and a lot of people are not doing it. You know what I mean? So when you see an organization and a group of people that are doing it, you need to be able to support that, So it's just true.
I feel like we're making a difference. Like, alhamdulillah, like,
Alhamdulillah.
I would really say not just, donating, funding, like taking the time to be out there with us.
Volunteer.
Bro.
Definitely.
Volunteer with Generational Hope.
Yeah. Volunteer New Minnesota Purpose of Freedom. We do need that. It's true. I'm not going to lie. I remember a couple years back, we tried to do like a whole volunteer outreach initiative, and we had like 50 people that signed up, and of those 50 people, maybe like 3 people ended up actually showing up. So a lot of times it's like, it's not, and I think a lot of times people see volunteering as a huge time, and no, you just use 5 hours out of your day. If you're a lawyer, you can help people with expungements. If you're a doctor, you can help people with, getting them into clinics or giving medical advice. If you're, if you're a anything, there's like, if you're somebody that has a background in nonprofits, you can help nonprofits with whether doing bylaws or just nonprofit organization work. There's everything, or just even just showing up, like giving out food or talking to people. There's so much need for volunteering in our communities, and I think that this is something that is shied away from, especially in the recovery space, because people don't understand how it works. You know what I mean? But it's a huge need.
Yeah, I feel like since I started putting myself out there to be like, the sister, like the sister that's recovering. Like, I see a lot of people, on social media, she doesn't look like, she's been through that. It's because I started caring about myself more. Yeah. And one thing I do see, like, in the non-African community, because Generational Hope is a East African descended organization more.
Yeah, so we focus specifically on like immigrants and East African community. Yep.
Where there's a thing that New Minnesota Purpose of Freedom is focusing on all Africans, right? And I feel like in our community we need to. I was going to the branch. I was helping one of my participants with getting their mail at the Opportunity Center.
Yep.
And I saw your flyer.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, now, we're doing the damn thing, right?
Yeah.
I had talked to my uncle, the plaza in Chicago and Franklin.
Yeah.
I went over there and I put a flyer there, He didn't hear me, and then like my grandpa owns it, right? So I'm like, I went up in there, go to shut up, and I'm like, it. What happened to my flyer for the meeting?
Wait to it.
He's like, you cannot put it on the glass wall. Oh. You gotta put it on the wall. I said, okay, I'm gonna come back. Just know that it's mine. And just like getting the word out there, like, man, we need to get better. Like, I really am excited that you have me on here. I just wanted to say that.
What do you gotta say to the sisters?
I want to say, sisters, come out with us if you're not in addiction.
Yeah.
Come be the voice so your sister do not go back out there. I want to say this to the sisters, that this is a safe environment where you can come out and get the help that you need. There's medication management. There's treatments far away from here, Wisconsin, that take Minnesota insurance. I want to say that there are support groups where you're not going to be recorded. There are drop-in centers where you can go and feel safe. I want to say that we mostly need everybody, not just the sisters. The sisters you can find recovery. It's fun, y'all. I know this is what you want me to say, Abdirahman. Like, it's fun.
It is.
You get your life back.
Yeah.
Like, I get off of probation. I was used to be ashamed of this. Like, I get off probation in December 21st, right?
Alhamdulillah.
Like, all my charges dismissed. Like, and then I'll be stuck with 2 misdemeanors. Alhamdulillah. Like, nothing has ever stopped me. The rape couldn't stop me. The neglection could have stopped me. You get to build your own family and friends. You get to be an asset. It's just like redefining your life and having a new purpose. Recovery is possible, sisters. If you're out there and you're struggling, just know that, alhamdulillah, if you do make it out, right, that it is a death sentence if you don't make it out. And there's always a better taste at life, when you're on this side. And if you're not there yet, just know that, my phone number is 612-403-2294. Call me at any time. And we need more mothers out here.
100%.
Like, I really wanted to talk about the mothers a lot. Boy, like, Hoyal, I'm a young lady who never had her mother raise her. As I said in the beginning of my story, like, my mother never raised me. So imagine if my mom came out of nowhere at the woodworks and came to the parks and came to the garage or a stairway I was sleeping, because I was that kid, I was that kid that was sleeping alone because I was scared of the trauma. I would say all Hoyas, please just come out and be part of our organizations, especially come and meet. Where our locations are, alhamdulillah. Like, just come out with us and come do outreach initiative with us. And you guys always call out to the ones that are there yet, but these are human beings too. We have families and we have a home to go to. We need to do self-care. So if we're doing it by ourselves and off front line by ourselves, then our kids will never leave the neighborhood, being outside using substance. They will never leave that. So we need cousins, uncles. If you have your niece out there, come out. If you have your daughter out there, come out. Whether you're a mom, father, but mostly if we can get the Hoyas and everyone else to line up with us and go into the community with us, I feel like we could do a lot. I know for sure we could do a lot of change because all other communities are, except for our African communities.
Yep.
We need to be out there, and I really wanted to talk about that.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. And I was just made aware the other day about the new task force. You want to talk about the new task force?
Yes, I'm really proud to say this. Alhamdulillah, me and Hoya Deko, Mama Deko, Abdirahman were Summer's mom. I'm proud to say that. And me and Generational Hope and New Minnesota Purpose of Freedom, we have collaborated to start a new initiative called the Hoya Somali Task Force.
Yeah.
Going into the community and cooking for the kids, our children. They're never going to be lost again. So we're starting a task force. If you guys could reach out to Abdirahman or Abdirahman's mom or me to join and be part of this initiative, is you don't have to do nothing but be part of. And if your family is out there, come meet with us. I bet you for sure that they need that love, that welcoming home again. Like, ini guriga rabaan waa ku noqdaan, warawaan guriga noqdaan. Waxayna u baahan yihiin in la tusiyo jacayl, in la soo dhaweeyo, banaanka ay ku joogaan lala tumto, because maskaxdooda meel caadi ma ku jirto hadda. So hadday arkaan dadkooda u imaanayaan, then that's love, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Meeting them where they're at.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like if I were to see more moms when I was struggling, and from a supportive stance, it would have changed my perspective. When you struggle with addiction, a lot of times you feel like nobody cares about you. You feel like nobody loves you. And being able to see familiar faces, it goes a long way. When you see people from your own community, especially like a mother or a father, especially for a lot of brothers and sisters, when they outside, they family already cut them off. They think their family already hate them. So, when they outside and they see somebody that's resemblance to their mom or to their dad, and they see that person there, they're going to look like a Hoya Aba Amala. You know what I mean? You're filling the void, or you're allowing them to feel like, I got a new family now, until my family could take me back. Matter of fact, I've seen it even with sometimes a mom will go and she'll make sure because she knows the kid's mom or dad and be like, listen, this kid, bring him back. And the mom and dad will bring him back because they understand. They don't even know if their kid is alive or dead for the past 6 months, sometimes a year. And then they realize and they see their son or daughter in such a depressive state. And they didn't even know. And they're like, and then they end up taking them back. And so it's a great initiative that you guys are starting, and we're starting. And we're happy to join and help in whatever way we can. But Bella, you're really doing this. You're doing this at big time. You know what I mean? And this is not the end of your story. This is just the beginning. And I cannot wait to see what you are going to do, you know what I mean? And how many people, you already impacted so much people. And I know that this podcast will reach people that need it. And you've overcome so much, you know what I mean? And to come on this platform and to talk about these traumatic points in your life that I feel like it's such a taboo topic, you know what I mean? It's so triggering and so shied away from, but it's something that's so common. It's so common. So many of our sisters do not feel protected. So many of our sisters have been assaulted. So many of our sisters have been taken advantage of,
And still are.
and still are. And it's such a common thing, and it's so unfortunate. And wallahi, for the brothers, we got to be able to do a better job at taking more measures to be protective of our sisters, and holding the people accountable, especially because that's a common thing as well, where there's a sister who ends up telling their family and their family's not protective of them. And I've heard stories like that. And it goes hand in hand, especially when sisters are out there and, struggling with addiction. It's so unfortunate where there, and I would love for you to talk about that. There was a sister that in our previous podcast, she was telling me about how, a lot of sisters when struggle out in the streets, you know what I mean? They become a target. They become a target, and there's no protection there for them either. You know what I mean? And so
If they become a target, they feel like, nah, the streets love me.
Yeah.
And then now they got these other abusive guys.
Yeah.
Now there's something they're used to. It's normal.
Yeah.
They went to go escape reality. I was that sister.
Yeah.
Like, I'm getting smacked outside
Yeah.
by a guy.
Yeah. And nobody's doing anything.
Now
about
I'm beating him up. Like, it's too much. That's like, domestic goes out there because like now we're experiencing drugs together, and we're out there, we're stealing together. From my story, I'm talking about myself. Like, there's a lot of sisters who came and get out because there's a guy holding on to them. And here, this is the reason why I wanted to start, because I already knew your mom was already doing the work. I already knew your mom was already doing the work. So I was like, she can really help me out. And it's something she was already doing. And I'm like, man, if I could get a couple of Hoyas to go out there, and a couple of sisters to go out there and we got sisters who are nurses, man. Somali sisters, state to state, in the United States and overseas, we have so many strong Somali sisters. I have family members who are doctors, who are nurses, who are firefighters, all Somalia, like, and business owners and all that. But nobody's out there.
Yeah.
That'll be sah.
Yeah.
Look at him getting high. We gonna record him doing all this stuff when we could just be like, man, they're human beings and they're being taken advantage of. It's time to reclaim our people and become one big loving recovery tribe, a supporting recovery tribe. Yeah. They should not be abused. That's why, like, I take time off of work. On my lunch break, like, I jump out the car. Hey, boy, it's that time. Hey, boy, it's that time. They be like, they make me smile. Abdirahman, be like, oh, Bella, bye, like, it just, now you have relationships with the streets, and they need more support than Bella. I cannot do it alone.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you so much, Wallahi, Bella, for sharing your story. And hopefully this is going to be the inspiration, not only for somebody to change, but for somebody to contribute to the change. Because we do need more people. We need more fighters out there that are going to fight this fight with us. And so thank you for fighting the fight. And I want to tell you, like, I'm proud of you, Wallahi. I am. I'm proud of you for everything that you're doing and everything that you're going to accomplish and everything that you've overcame. You know what I mean? You're a walking example of resilience, your testimony. And so many people will relate to you. You don't even know. And so I want to thank you so much, sister, for coming on this podcast and sharing parts of your story that I feel like is so shied away from, but it's so important. And so thank you so much. Is there anything else that you'd like to tell the audience?
Shout out to Generational Hope for being my hope shot. And Abdirahman.
Shout out to New Purpose, Minnesota Purpose of Freedom. You know what I mean? That's what it is. And so thank you. Guys, stay tuned for the next episode. We out.